Greetings, trombonists at large. I am the vacant trombone, here to talk to you today about a lick, a Milt Bernhart lick in particular. It goes something like this. So some of you may recognize it, and for those of you who do, kind of class dismissed. But for those who are still interested, if you are planning on playing with a lot of big bands, or if you play with a lot of big bands, dance bands in particular, and they work with male vocalists, you're gonna be running into this lick. Now, this is a Milt Bernhart lick played at the end of his solo on the Nelson Riddle arrangement of the Cole Porter song, I've Got You Under My Skin, as performed by Frank Sinatra. Now, a few years later, Sinatra re-recorded this same track, the same arrangement, and he had Dick Nash playing lead on that session, and Dick quoted this lick of Milt's, and it kind of became like this little running gag for the live performance. Whoever was playing lead bone and was going to be playing that solo, they would quote that lick. And every time they did, Sinatra started noticing that the audience got more of a rise out of the end of that trombone solo. And this prompted him to say, hey, Sinatra said to the trombone players, anytime you have that solo, you can play anything you want. But if you can, try to quote Milt Bernhart. And so it just became this thing that everyone started to do. And it has now become one of those lexicon licks, that canonized licks that we need to know, because you're going to run into it at the end of a solo. I have seen takedowns of this same arrangement, I've Got You Under My Skin, and at the end, it may have the solo written as changes, but at the end, it'll still have that lick written there. And as so often happens with takedowns, sometimes it's not right, which makes it less than possible to play. It becomes impossible to play. This is true of almost any trombone solo from the classic era that is a takedown and placed into a tune. Jack Jenny solo is another one from the Hoagy Carmichael composition of Stardust. That's another one that seldom ever is it taken down correctly. And it makes it impossible to play. So these songs are kind of things that you're going to want to learn to play so that when you run into them, you know what to do and you don't have to rely on the music. Because what's worse than a poorly transcribed jazz solo is a meticulously transcribed jazz solo if you've never seen it. Because then you look at it and it's just this wild thing. And again, less than possible to play, at least when you're reading it at the gig. So some of these canonized solos, you might want to learn little bits and pieces of them. There aren't that many of them. And it will help you when you're playing in a jazz band or a dance band to be able to please the audience. And even though the solo is our moment to kind of express ourselves, at the same time, the reason why we're there playing the music is to please the audience. So if you can, it is always a good idea to quote this lick at the end of your I've Got You Under My Skin solo. Well, 2 out of 1 out of 2, whatever that was. So maybe I'll have the opportunity to hear you on the bandstand. Thanks for watching.